Calm, focus, happiness. Tom, as we move closer to the end of the interview, I want to ask you 5 quick answer questions. So just 30-second answers are perfect. The first one is this. Who is one person who has been a powerful mindfulness influence to you?
On this journey of mine that has kind of ended up in mindfulness, one of the persons that was a big influence on me would have been Bob Monroe. Bob was about the same age as my father, I guess. So he was kind of a father figure in that sense. He was an older guy. I was in my 20s and he was in his 50s, going to 60s. And he was a good role model. He seemed to be able to handle almost everything positively. I don't think I ever saw him, get angry or get upset. So that was a good influence.
My second question, and thanks for answering that. The second question is about emotions. And I just want to have you think back in time. How has the work you've done with consciousness and mindfulness changed how you've dealt with your own emotions?
It changes everything. When I first started on this path, I had a lot of growing up to do. I was a young physicist in graduate school, middle to late 20s, that sort of thing. And if you know any young physicists in graduate school in their 20s, you probably will find out that they're kind of arrogant. They kind of feel like they know everything, and they're smarter than other people. And it kind of goes with that profession, at least when you're young. Because you tend to be a little arrogant anyway when you're young, because you're still kind of self-centered when you're young. They all kind of go together.
That's right.
And I had to outgrow that, but it just slowly disappears. As your picture gets bigger and bigger. And I think this is the key. As you grow up, your picture gets bigger and bigger. Your decision space gets bigger and bigger. That's all the possibilities that you have that you know of. I could do this or I could do that. I could change this way or that way. Whereas somebody that has no idea they could change it all, doesn't have that in their decision space. So as that grows and your picture gets bigger, then you're no longer such a big person in this bigger picture. You begin to realize that you're just a tiny little speck of something, that's much bigger than you are. And there's reasons, there's points of being here. There's purpose to your being here. And that helps get rid of most of that arrogance. It helps get rid of most of that self-centeredness. So I'd say the key thing for me was over, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, my pictures kept getting bigger and bigger. My understanding kept getting bigger and bigger. And I realized that most of me being a smart young physicist was totally irrelevant, didn't have any value. That wasn't a concept that carried value. That was a concept that carried negative value, not positive value. There was nothing in it. So what? It wasn't important. That wasn't something that you should get a gold star for. You should get a gold star based on how caring you are, how much help you can be, that kind of thing. Not that you studied something that was hard and more math than most people, and so what? It just doesn't matter. So those things came into perspective as my world got bigger than me being a graduate student. The world got bigger and bigger, and you get more and more things in it. So that, I think, is the process. Now, mindfulness just comes out of that, because when you're aware of a bigger reality, you are more mindful. When you're not mindful, it's because your reality has shrunk to something very small. Instead of being connected to a large reality, all you're connected to is habit and fear, beliefs, ego, and all of that just runs your life. And all of those things make you unhappy and make you miserable.
Tell us how breathing is part of your mindfulness practice, part of your life.
First of all, I'll have to say that I don't really have a mindfulness practice or a meditation practice that's formal anymore. I did a long time back, but eventually it's not something you do. Like I say, it's something you become. And it's just the way you are. And it's just a piece of you. So I don't really meditate anymore because I live in a meditation state. So I can, move my mind. I have discipline of my mind that I can get in and out of various reality frames just by shifting my viewpoint. I just shift the mind to that spot, and it only takes tenths of a second. So it used to be, you'd lie down and you'd relax and you'd go through all this stuff. And, half an hour later, you'd maybe be out of body or doing some other kind of thing. And it's not like that anymore. Now it's just a shift of focus and you're there. So eventually your life becomes a meditation, and you don't go do things like mindfulness exercises or meditation exercises. They no longer are helpful because you're already there. You don't have to do something to get there because you live there all the time. So that would be one caveat.
Sure.
So then the question is,